Hello and welcome back to Bits and Bobs. Today's video is the complete guide to the Victorian veiled head coinage, which is all the coins featuring the veiled head of Queen Victoria, the portrait we see on screen now. The veiled head portrait was used on the bronze coins of Queen Victoria's reign, it was used on the silver coins of Victoria's reign, and used on the gold coins of Queen Victoria's reign. So it was used across all three styles of Victorian circulating coin. I will first talk to you about the design of the veiled head coin, and then move on to comparing the veiled head designs as new designs were brought out for the reverse, and comparing those to the pre-veiled head and during veiled head designs of these coins. But for now, the design of the veiled head. It was done by Thomas Brock, and the initials TB for Thomas Brock can be seen below the Queen's shoulder. The Queen is facing to the left and wearing a crown on her head with a veil over that, hence the name veiled head. She's wearing earrings, a brooch, and some necklaces around her neck, and we can see her also featuring some of her upper body and the just top of her clothing there as well, rather than cutting off at the neck as some earlier portraits of Victoria did. Around her is a legend here, and there was always a legend around the portrait. It did change and vary on some denominations, but was always very similar, listing Victoria's titles as monarch and empress, and how she was chosen by God to rule. There's also then milling or teeth around the rim of the coin. Now let's compare the veiled head to the design used before it. For the bronze coins it is this one here. To the left, a young head portrait by Leonard Charles Wyon, and to the right, the new veiled head portrait. Here we can see on the silver coins, the Jubilee head portrait that came before the veiled head, and the Jubilee head was also used on gold coins, therefore coming before the veiled head on silver and gold coins, but the Jubilee head was never used on the bronze coins. So now let's go through the coins in denomination order, comparing obverse and reverse designs of the two types. So to the left we can see an 1894 farthing, featuring the young head, but also we can see some more design details on the reverse. Notice a ship and a lighthouse to the left and right of Britannia. Notice the date, 1894, is much bigger, and the shield is more round as it's more of an ellipsis on the later design. Comparing the obverses of these two coins, we can see there, the first one, the left one, is the young head portrait, and then the other one is the new veiled head design, which simplifies the design of Britannia, shrinks the date of the coin, and elongates the shield. The same changes can be seen here to the halfpenny, having the same design, of course just with the words halfpenny rather than farthing. The new veiled head design has a smaller date, a longer shield, and no ship or lighthouse. And again, to the obverse you can see the same design change from young head to veiled head on these coins changing in 1895. The last bronze denomination is the penny, and again we can see the same changes, a bigger date, a rounder shield, and the lighthouse and boat on the reverse design, then changed for the new veiled head design, and there's the obverses again with the young head, then changing to the veiled head for these bronze coins in 1895. Now for the silver coins, the veiled head came earlier and was introduced in 1893, and rather than replacing a young head, it replaced the Jubilee head that has been used on silver coins up until 1892. The Maundy coins had the same design on the reverse, despite the change, only the obverse change with the new portrait being brought in 1893 as they were silver coins. The 3p though was a circulating coin and did change in 1893. But again, the reverse stayed the same, as you can see there, 1892 and 1893 bear the same design of the Maundy style design on the reverse of the coin, only the obverse came to change. The veiled head portrait was brought out in 1893 and now adorned the obverse of the 3p piece, although there was a type or a variety made of 1893 3p that did still feature the Jubilee head. Now moving on to the 6p, we can see here, across the design change of the obverse, there's no design change on the reverse, both of them having the same design from 1892 and 1893. On the reverse that is, as the obverse of course changed from now having the veiled head on the obverse rather than the Jubilee head to the older coins that were used. And there is again a very rare 1893 Jubilee head variety. Now then, moving on to the shilling, we can see here the two designs. The Jubilee head design has a crowned quarter-arms royal shield within a garter with the date below, and the new veiled head design has 3 crowned shields, as well as the 3 national flowers, all within the garter, the date below again, and the denomination up to the top, 1 shilling. And of course, looking to the obverse, you can see the change there from the Jubilee head on the 1892 to the veiled head brought in 1893. Here are the two florin designs, the Jubilee head having 4 crowned cruciform shields about a central garter star with 4 sceptres, the new one having 3 shields with a crown at the top, the national flowers in between, 2 longer sceptres running through the design, and the order of the garter there as well. And of course, to the obverse you can see the change, as we all know by now, in 1893 we swapped from the Jubilee head to the veiled head. Here are the two half-crown designs. To the left, the Jubilee head having a crowned quarter-arm shield, inside a garter, inside a band of roses and ribbons, with a legend around this and a date at the bottom. We then have a similar design, but with no garter and a more spade-style pointy shield in the middle of the coin. And of course the classic obverse variety change from the Jubilee head to the veiled head. And the last biggest silver denomination is the crown. The reverse though had no design changes, apart from the date of course, there was no changes to the reverse. And once again the obverse change of Jubilee head to veiled head on these lovely large silver crowns. Now onto the gold coins, and the veiled head was brought in 1893 as well on the gold coins. We can see here a half sovereign to the left with the Jubilee head, featuring a crowned quarter-arm shield, and then the George and the Dragon design was revived in 1893 for the new veiled head coinage on the half sovereigns. For a while, the half sovereign had shield designs rather than the George and the Dragon, but as the veiled head entered the obverse, so did the George and the Dragon back to the reverse of these half sovereign coins, and the veiled head of course replaced the Jubilee head. The gold sovereign already had the George and the Dragon design back on it when the time of the Jubilee head was here, and then it just simply stayed the same for the veiled head, only the date changing as it does each year, and of course then the obverse changing as well, with the new veiled head now after 1893 and the Jubilee head before that. The double sovereign had no change to it apart from the obverse design of the portrait. The Jubilee head, as we see here, has the George and the Dragon design on the reverse, and then the veiled head, brought in 1893, has now the George and the Dragon design on the reverse, staying the same, as did the five sovereign. No change to the five sovereign other than the portrait. We have the George and the Dragon design on the reverse for the Jubilee head, and then for the veiled head, again, the George and the Dragon design to the reverse of the coin. No change to the reverses of those coins. So there we go. Comment down below which looks best, the veiled head in bronze, silver, or in gold. And also comment down below your overall opinion of the veiled head and whether you like it more than the Jubilee head or young head or other portraits of Queen Victoria. Thank you for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel if you've learned something new and enjoyed. And of course, thank you for watching again, and we'll see you soon for more coins in the future on Bits and Bobs. Bye.